Hello guys, on this video we are going to install Google Tag Manager server-side with Stape.io via a GA4 Google tag. Let's dive in. First step is to create a container in Stape.io. So create your account, right? And after that, let's close this webinar thing. Let's create a container. Here we are going to name the container. I will normally do something like the website, in this case is Analytics Engine, right? .co is the URL of my domain, my root domain. Then we need to add the container configuration. So to do that, next we are going to Google Tag Manager and then find our account. All right, and after being in the account level, we are going to create a new container. You should have already a website container, but we are going to create a new server container. Okay, so to do that, you will go to the account level here, click the three dots, then create a container. We are going to see these options: web, iOS, Android. Of course, the option is server, but after that, let's name this Analytics Engine Server. All right, let's select this. Let's create. Alright, so on this screen you will not click this blue button. This is the setup for Google Cloud, but we are not going to use Google Cloud. Instead, we are going to use Stape. So let's select manually provision tagging server, and this is our config right here. We are going to copy that and paste it here on Stape. The server's location, well, I'm very far from Japan, but very close to the United States. So let's see if we have, let's use United States, Iowa, and let's click on create a container. We are going to use the free plan for testing. Continue with the free plan, and also you can do that after getting the account. Alright, so next step, we are going to map a subdomain by going to the bottom of this page, of the container success page. Here you will see this blue button, add custom domain. We are going to click here, and next we are going to create a subdomain that we are going to use for redirecting the data traffic from your website to the server. So this have to be a first party setup, of course. So let's put something like data.analyticsengine.co. You can put in the subdomain whatever you like GTM, alright, or server-side GTM, or just the letter D, whatever you like. In this case, let's use data.analyticsengine.co. You can add your CDN, but I suggest we use the one from Stape. Alright, let's now grab this value here, the CNAME and the host, and this value right here at the right, by going to our DNS manager. In my case is Google Domains, and Google Domains was acquired from Squarespace. They buy Google Domains, so my domain is in here. So on this step, you should go to your specific DNS manager provider, then go to the DNS. Almost all the DNS have the similar structure, so in some cases there are some small differences, but the principle is the same. You have to add new records. So let's add here in add a record the type of well, the host. Let's check here. The host is data.analyticsengine.co. So I will paste here, but it seems like I just have to add the subdomain, and the type is CNAME. Here the priority we can like leave not apply, and the value here, or the data here, is in this case is usc.stape.io. all right, we can now click save, and we just add a record, all right, into the DNS manager of my domain. all right, so after you do that, you will go back to stape.io, click on verify, and it will take sometimes a couple of minutes, some other times 5 minutes, or even higher. Even they told you here that it can take up to 72 hours. all right, as soon the domain is mapped, so here we see the ready confirmation. So we are going to take the domain we just created, or actually we need to copy from with the HTTPS protocol at the top. Then we will go to the admin section of the analytics of the GTM server we just created. Then go to admin. all right, let's go to container settings, and we will add a URL here, the URL that we just created. We are going to paste it here. Just verify you don't add something else than the HTTPS protocol, the subdomain, and your root domain, right, and in a correct way. This is really, really important, because if this is not pasted correct, well, the setup won't work, right? Click save. Next, let's go to the client-side container that we will need to update also the server URL there. all right, so let's go to the client-side container. I have a container already here from the client side. all right, we are just there, and we are going to use a workspace for this, so I recommend you also to do the same, because you want to have clean workspace and you don't mix works that other people could maybe is doing in your website. Just saying. all right, so let's go to tags, and so normally I will delete everything, right, so we can start from scratch to show you like the complete process. So first of all, let's create a new tag. We are going to use the Google tag, and I know that maybe you already have some questions about, oh, if this is a server-side setup, why I'm here in the client-side setup. In another video, I will explain you why this setup, why I'm using also a client-side setup. But this is that extensive, so let's just stick to this tutorial, and let's paste the Google tag here, the GA4 ID. But I will do that later. But first, now that we are here, I'm going to add the server-side URL by typing server, and you can see that there is a suggestion right here. This is a standard parameter for Google tag, and then we are going to paste the subdomain, and it's really important that you get the HTTPS protocol here. all right, some people also send the page view here, and I have here some, like, this is the standard setup, right? But some people are sending the page view with other tag. It's not also, we are not going to talk about that specific preference, the benefits or cons. We are just going to complete this tutorial. all right, so let's select these all pages. Also, other people put in initialization, and actually I think the standards, the documentation says that. Nevertheless, we can work with this, like there is no technical differences. all right, so well, for some cases it can be happen. So just to, in case you already will write something, I know that in some cases it's better, but I'm not going to discuss that now. All right, so let's name this Google tag, or actually better, GA4 Google tag. All right, so this is the transportator this tag will make the transportation from the client side to the server side. Next, we need to add a measurement ID from GA4. All right, we just have go to GA4, right? So to find your measurement ID, you go to the admin section, then you will click on data streams. Next, you will click the rectangle right here and copy the measurement ID from the GA4 admin section, just to be sure, like actually you are in the same measurement ID. So yeah, always verify the domain. All right, so let's paste the GA4 measurement ID right here on the Google tag. Now, and by the way, you can also create a variable and add it here in your case, but for testing and to show you this very quickly, let's do that in this way. So we already have a Google tag that also send a page view. This enables the send of data into the server container, but we need to test this, right? So let's open again the server container that we just created. I'm going to open it in another tab. Next, I will submit an empty container. There are some cases where GTM show you a bug or something if you don't publish the empty container. So just in case, let's do that. Let's roll the preview mode. And we should see a screen already. As you can see, the domain here was updated. We see that data.analyticsengine.co. All right, and we have this screen. This should be the screen that you should see if you map the domain correctly and add it. And also you should see your subdomain right in the top of the URL. All right, next we are going to deploy the client-side container by going to preview, but I need to do something extra, because in my website, it's hard to believe, but I don't have GTM installed here. It's a secret. Yeah, I'm not using, so I will need to install. I will use this plugin or whatever its name, sorry. So I can inject GTM containers here without adding the code. So we are going to do that. All right, so I'm going to copy this value and I'm going to use this inspection plugin, all right, to add my GTM here, just the values after the GTM, and then in the domain I will update analyticsengine.co. all right, so I'm going to save and reload. You should see this green button when installed. I guess you don't need to do these steps, but just in case you want to test in the website very quickly. So the magic of this extension is that right now I will go to Analytics Engine and I will install this container right here with the tag we just created. All right, and I can see that information here on my tag assistant. All right, guys, so I have an issue with the Google site tag assistant. It didn't fire actually if I even install it via the extension I showed you before. So I'm going to complete this tutorial by injecting that container into my AppWork profile so you can see how the setup works. All right, so here we deploy it in AppWork, my profile, and we see that the tag here fire. This is the tag we just created, and we can see here on the screen that we are sending data to data.analyticsengine.co. And if we check the server container, we have a page view here. And actually, let's try that again. Let's go to make a refresh, and you will see that the user engagement even appears. This happens when you refresh the page. All right, and next we have the page view. So as you can see here, the data, well, is coming from an AppWare page. If I go to even details here, we should see information of the page location. This was AppWare. So sorry, I wasn't able to show you in my domain, but this is the same process that you should follow. As you have the client-side container in your Google Tag Manager, you will send, well, let's check the client-side container to show you, like, this is very crowded. But yeah, let's check the Google tag here. So this tag is sending the page view, right, from the client side, from this page, and it's reaching here via server side. And if we inspect the request, here we see an incoming request, and this incoming request is the same I'm going to show you next. So if we go to the website and we inspect this, right, and if we go to the network tab and I press collect, I don't see anything because I just roll up this, so I need to refresh. Just make sure you are recording logs from the network, and I will pick up this collect. So normally in a client-side setup, you will see that everything is sent to Google Analytics directly, but here, as we are using a server-side setup with a first-party domain, we are sending the data first to the server-side container that is shown here, that is hosted in Stape.io, right? And in this way, you can verify that your setup is working. Let's check how a client-side setup looks like. So let's go to Analytics Engine, and there I don't have a client-side setup. The reason is that, very interesting, Google Sites, this is my CMS that I use, doesn't have support with Google Tag Manager. Like, it's very funny, right? But yeah, all right. So as you can see here, we have a collect, the same network address, but this time you see there is a Google Analytics.com. So this is a client-side setup. These data streams go directly to Google servers, Google Analytics.com servers. But in the client-side setup, imagine this is an analytics engine, right? But here we are sending the same GA4 data stream via the subdomain. All right, I told you I won't explain a lot, but this topic is really interesting, very interesting how this technology works. All right, so as a next step, as you already tested that the GA4 is working, and actually we just proved this in the client side, always for sure, you have to use the debug view always that you work with GA4 and you want to make sure that the setup is working well. Alright, so as you can see here, we have some incoming traffic. This is from our session here. Well, I guess we don't see like the AppWare activity here, and maybe because GA4 is blocking traffic from other domains, maybe in the debug view, that's a possibility. And the other possibility is that the debug view is super slow and we haven't checked that. Sometimes it takes up to 3 minutes to show activity here. So I will ignore this. I just showing you this. This step is always fundamental to verify that in the debug views of your tools you see the traffic coming well. Alright, so let's go back here. As you already verified, the next step is to publish the change. So to do that, I will go always to overview, check what we just did. We deleted 2 tags and added a new tag. I will check the configuration, sounds great. Then you will click on submit. We already have some naming of the workspace, and you can add any comment you have here. So let's add something like Stape.io, server-side setup, deploy it via GA4 tag. If you have any question about this tutorial, please let me know in the comments and I will try to help you as soon as I can. Have a wonderful day and see you in the next tutorial. Alright, see you guys.